What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Today I am doing such a fun and exciting video, and I'm going to be recreating my bridal makeup for you guys. If you don't know, I got married in November and I did do my own makeup. I got my hair done, but I'm too much of a control freak, so I did do my own makeup. I wouldn't have it any other way. It literally saved me so much money and so much stress because I was in control of how my makeup was going to look. So hopefully this video will be helpful for any future brides or really just anyone. I mean, this is a great makeup look for prom, a big event, anywhere they're going to be photographed or you want to look like really, really nice. This would be a good makeup look for that. I even put on my little like robe that I got ready and that has like my initials and stuff on it, my little bride robe. This is what I wore when I got ready, so I thought we'd make it authentic and genuine. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you have not already and click the little bell right next to the subscribe button so you can be notified of all my future uploads. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram. It's @Strack Official. I post on there all the time so you can keep up with me over there. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm just gonna clip back my hairs so they're not in my face. I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, primer is super important because most likely you're gonna be doing this makeup rather early during the day. Like, I think I did my makeup at like 11 a.m. and I wasn't getting married till 6:30 at night. So, you wanna make sure this makeup's gonna last. So, primer is very important. I used two different primers. First one is the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer. This is really, really great. It helps to really adhere your foundation and the rest of your makeup to your face. So, I'm gonna go in with this first. And I used a lot. I don't know that I used that much on my wedding day, but you definitely do want to make sure that you adequately prime. You also want to make sure that you moisturize your skin, do your regular skincare in the morning as well. This also really helps to moisturize the face as well. Okay, now that primer doesn't add any like dewiness or glowiness to your skin. I definitely wanted to have like a glowy look to my skin on my wedding day, so I went in with the second primer, and this is the NARS Super Radiant Booster. This actually isn't even a primer, it's a liquid highlight, but I used it as a primer to add glowiness to my skin before I went in with my foundation. This can also actually be added directly into your foundation, but I like to put it down first. So you don't need too much of this. I'm gonna go in with about that much. Just apply it on my cheeks and then blend it out with a beauty blender like I would a foundation. All right, we got our beauty blender, no worries. So I'm just gonna go in with that, a dampened beauty blender, and just blend that on my skin. As you guys can see, it's a very subtle glow. You don't want to do anything like crazy glowy with a lot of glitter, or at least I wouldn't suggest that, just because sometimes that can pick up strange on the camera. So you want to make sure that your makeup looks good in person, but also good on camera. So I like this because it just gives a subtle glow to the skin. Alrighty, now for a foundation, I use the Too Faced Born This Way. This is probably no surprise. If you watch my videos, this is my favorite foundation. I absolutely love it. I have the shade Natural Beige right here, which was what matches me. This foundation is on as my favorite, and I do think it's really great for bridal looks because it is medium to full coverage, so it's gonna cover up any imperfections that you have and give you a really flawless look to your skin, but it's not gonna look like you have tons of makeup on, and that's kind of the look that I was going for. So I'm gonna go in with this. I'm gonna go in with 2 pumps, and then we can add any more that we may need if we need any extra coverage or anything. And I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that out with the beauty blender as well. But on your wedding day, I feel like wedding makeup can be a little bit difficult. You wanna try and balance looking great in person for your guests, but also looking really great on camera. Because typically makeup that photographs really well doesn't look that flattering in real life. Because normally if you're gonna go to like a shoot or something, like a photo shoot, you're gonna have a lot of makeup on, and that's gonna photograph really beautifully. But in real life, people are gonna be like, whoa, girl. So, you know, like I had 200 guests at my wedding, so I wanted to look beautiful like in real life for my guests, but also like look really good in my pictures too. So it's hard to find like a balance in between. But I think my makeup photographed well and also like looked nice in real life. So hopefully this will be helpful to you guys. But I feel like with weddings, that is the hardest thing to kind of balance. All right, so that is the 2 pumps blended out. I feel like that's enough for me today. On my wedding day, of course, I was breaking out because I was stressed. So I probably used a little bit more then. So just go in with however much you think you need to cover up any of your imperfections and make sure all your skin is like the same color and everything. But I feel like 2 pumps today is good enough. And we're also going to be setting this down with a lot of other things to make sure that it doesn't move throughout the day. So you want to make sure you don't have too much on, just because we are going to go in with multiple other layers. Alrighty, up next for concealer, I used Tarte Shape Tape. This is one of my favorites. It's beautiful. It's going to cover up anything and everything. So this is what I used on my under eye area. I'm going in with the shade Light Neutral, and I'm gonna bring this underneath my eyes. I wanted to balance something that was brightening on my under eyes but wasn't too light, because sometimes that can again also look weird in pictures. So that's why I went in with light neutral as opposed to like a fairer shade. So I can still brighten up those under eyes, but it's not gonna look super white and ghostly in pictures. And I'm gonna bring that down the bridge of my nose and in the center part of my face, because this is gonna help to balance out that highlight underneath the eyes. And then just going back in with my beauty blender and blending everything out, so it all looks seamless. A beauty blender is a really great investment if you guys don't have one already and you're doing your own makeup for your wedding or a big event. I just feel like this blends everything out so easily, so much more easy than a brush, at least in my opinion. So I literally always use this for like every single liquid product that I use on my face. So just tapping everything out till it's nice and blended. And then a little tip that I do, because I use the pointy part of this to blend out my concealer, so then on the bottom, that's what I use to blend out the foundation. So it still has just a little foundation left on it. I don't go in with any more, but I'll just go over everything that I just blended out with the concealer with the bottom part, just to make sure everything blends seamlessly, like the concealer and the foundation together. Now on my wedding day, I did cream contour a little bit as well. So I went in with the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer and this one in the shade of Butterscotch. And I used this just to cream contour out my cheekbones a little bit. We are gonna go in with a powder contour, but this just looks really natural and nice. So I went in with a little bit of this. As you can see, it's not that much darker than my skin. So I'm not going with like a really dark contour because we're gonna build it up gradually. But I just did this to add a little bit more depth to my cheeks. And then just going back in with the same beauty blender, blending everything out. I told you guys we were gonna use this a lot of times. So if you guys see, it blends out really, really easily and just adds a little bit of like natural depth and contour. And you wanna focus on mostly blending this upwards, not down. Just to really lift up the cheeks. Alrighty, now to set my under eyes on my wedding day, I used Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana, which you guys know is one of my favorites. I've used it for years. Apparently you can still get it online, so shout out to you guys for all letting me know that. But I believe it's only going to be available online until it's gone, and then it's going to be sold out. So I don't want to use it in this video because I don't want somebody 2 years from now to watch this video and be like, dang, I can't find that. So this has been my favorite under eye setting powder as of recent. This is the CoverGirl True Blend Loose Mineral Powder in the shade Banana. I really like this. It does a really nice job of brightening the under eyes as well as setting them. So that's what I'm going to go in with today. So just tap some into the cap, and I'm going to go in with a little flat brush to apply this to our under eyes to set it. Do you guys see how brightening that is automatically? I really, really like this. It reminds me a lot of the Fenty Pro Filter. That's another really great under eye setting powder. This one is more affordable, but the Fenty one is really, really great as well. And I think the Fenty one, the shade that I use is Butter, which is a very similar shade to this. So if you want to be a little bougie, little high end, you can go in with Fenty as well. So I'm just using that to set down the under eyes in any area that we highlighted with the concealer. You also can definitely use this to bake as well. I didn't bake on my wedding day. I never really do. My skin in general is pretty dry. If you have oily skin though, you could definitely do that. Or if you have dry skin that can tolerate baking. Up next, to go ahead and set everything down, you definitely want to go in with a powder foundation. So I went in with the Laura Geller Baked, Balance, and Brighten in the shade Medium. Any powder foundation will do. This is going to help to not only set your concealer to make sure it's not going to budge throughout the day, but also to add a little bit more coverage to your skin as well. And just give you more of that flawless looking finish. So just going to go in and set everything down with this. And again, I do have dry skin, so powder isn't super, super important for me because I'm really only trying to set the foundation down. I'm not trying to combat oil. If you have oily skin, I would definitely go in with a mattifying powder to help stop that oil from breaking throughout the day. All right, next we have brows. I used the CoverGirl Brow Pencil in Soft Brown. I absolutely love this. It's a definite dupe for the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and this is what I used on my wedding day. So I'm just gonna get all my brows going in one place and just going to fill them on in. I kept with my natural brow on my wedding day. I didn't want to do anything super, super crazy just because, I mean, brow trends change so much and we don't want to look back, you know, 10 or 20 years from now and hate the way we did our makeup or how our brows looked. So that is definitely something that I tried to focus on when doing my makeup on my wedding day, was having it look really beautiful, but also really timeless. So not doing anything like super, super trendy or crazy that I may look back on and be like, what was I doing? And I just did a pretty natural gradient brow. So once I finished filling everything in, I just went in with a spoolie in the front to feather that out and make it look a little bit more natural and gradient. And that was pretty much it. I'm just gonna go do my other brow real quick and we will continue on to the eyes. All right, moving on to our eyes. On my wedding day, I brought 3 different palettes with me because I got ready at the actual venue, so I wasn't getting ready at home. So I brought 3 different palettes in case I needed them. The 3 palettes that I brought was the Violet Voss Pro palette. This is the taupe notch. This is a lot of cool tone neutral shadows, so it's really, really great for bridal. I also brought the Violet Voss Holy Grail palette. This has a lot of warm tone neutrals, so also good for bridal depending on what your bride wants to do. So I had both palettes on hand in case I needed them. I didn't actually end up pulling from either palette, I don't think, but I did have them. So I want to show them to you because they are both great bridal palettes. The palette that I actually used was the Too Faced Natural Love palette, which unfortunately has since been discontinued, but it was replaced with the Too Faced Natural Lust palette, which is very, very similar. This is what the Natural Lust palette looks like. So this is what I'm going to use today to create a look very similar to the one that I did. I don't want to use the Natural Love palette because you guys can't get that anymore, but I'm pretty sure I can actually create like pretty much the exact look using this palette because they're very, very similar. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, so the first shade that I'm gonna go in with is Call Me Back. And I'm gonna use this in the crease as a neutral transition shade. So just pop that right on in there. I knew I wanted to do a light kind of eye. I didn't want to have super dark shadows in my eyes, so you guys will see the eye itself is pretty light, but I did want to do bold lashes to really open up my eyes. I'm just buffing this in back and forth on my crease and upper crease. I remember on my wedding day, people were so shocked at like how fast I did my makeup, because it honestly didn't really take me that long to do it, because I had practiced it like a couple times. Like I had actually filmed a couple like bridal makeup tutorials on YouTube, which you guys can look up, that show different looks, kind of all variations. So I had a pretty good idea of what exactly it was that I wanted to do, but people were like, oh my god, like you're already done. I think people thought I was gonna take like 4 hours to do my makeup, just because, you know, this is like my thing, but yeah, I didn't. Alrighty, up next I'm gonna go in with Set in Stone right here, and we're gonna use this to deepen up the crease. You do wanna have some sort of depth in your eyes, but I knew I definitely didn't wanna go overboard, so I didn't use super dark colors, but I'm gonna use this to go ahead and build up that crease, just so we can really define out the eyes, because you don't want them to get like washed out with your face in pictures. And you definitely just want to take your time blending each color to make sure everything looks super seamless, because your photographer will probably take a lot of pictures of you looking down, looking up, looking all over the place, so you want to make sure your makeup from every angle is looking cute. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of that same color just on a flat brush and bring that slightly into our outer corner, but not too much. Like I don't want it to be super dark. So I'm just going to work that right in there and kind of make that V shape that we want our eyes to be. And we'll connect everything with our lower lash line. So going in with that same color on the lower lash line to connect it all out. And I'm only gonna bring it about halfway on my lower lash line. We'll go the other half with a lighter shade. But you wanna just connect everything out on the side here. Same thing on the other side. All right, now all over my lid, I wanted to go in with like a lighter shimmery color, so I'm gonna go in with Love Spark right here. And I'm gonna go in with a flat top brush to do that and spritz it with some Fix Plus, water, anything like that will do, just so you can really get as much pigment as possible from the shadow. And I'm just going to place that on my eyelid. You guys see how pretty this is? So pretty and shimmery. I am gonna go over it with a liquid eyeshadow as well, so it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but just gonna set this down and in place. And we are gonna go in with one other color just to really make it gradient into that darker shade, so I'll show you guys that in a second, so don't worry if it doesn't all blend out just yet. You wanna grab a shade that's not too much darker, so I'm gonna go in with Oopsie Daisy right here, this kind of golden shade, and I'm gonna just pop that in between that darker shade on the outer and the lighter on the inner, just to help blend everything together seamlessly. And then I'm gonna go back in with Love Spark, that same shade, and use that as my highlight. So I'm gonna bring it into my inner corner and connect it with our bottom liner, just to really highlight and brighten that area. And also gonna bring it beneath the brow bone, like so. All right, now for our shimmer and liquid eyeshadow. It took me so long to find the perfect one, because so many liquid eyeshadows and shimmers are like either way too gold or way too silvery, so I found a really beautiful one that I thought was pretty neutral. This one is from MAC. This is their Dazzle Shadow Liquid in the shade Not Afraid to Sparkle. So I'll put some on my hand to show you guys. But it's kind of like neutral, like it's almost like white, and it has like white sparkles in it that some are gold and some are silver, so it could pull either way, which is basically exactly what I wanted. So that's what we're gonna go in. I didn't want it to be like super crazy, lots of sparkle and glitter, but I did want to have some sparkle, you know? It's your wedding day, you gotta sparkle. So I'm gonna go in with this on my lid and just add some glitter. As you guys can see, it's more subtle than like one of the Stila liquid shadows. Like those are like really pigmented, intense, crazy glitter, which is beautiful, but on my wedding day, I didn't want to do anything too much. So to me, this was like the perfect little in-between. And I only really focused this where we did the lighter shadow, not in the outer corner where we had the darker shadow. I just kind of fade it as we go backwards. All right, up next for liner. I know it's shocking to believe, but I actually didn't do winged liner on my wedding day. I just did a very thin black line because I knew I wanted to do wispy lashes. So I wanted to make sure that I had the lashes hidden, but I actually didn't do like a big wing. I don't know why, I just wasn't feeling it, and yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to keep the look super classic, so I stuck with a regular black line. I went in with the Benefit roller liner. I really like this. You could definitely use a waterproof liner if you think you're gonna be crying. I would highly recommend, but this one really doesn't budge on me. It's not technically waterproof, but it's really good, so. But waterproof liner is a great option as well. So I'm gonna just go in and do a very thin line across my lid. For lashes, my favorite ones of recent are the 663s. These are from Salon Perfect. They are literally like the most perfect bridal lash. They're long, but they're super wispy, so they're not gonna be like this big like cloud over your eyes. Like you're still gonna be able to see like your eyeshadow and everything going on, but they're really long and beautiful. So this is what I'm gonna go in with today. They are my new obsession. So I'm just gonna put some lash glue. You definitely wanna make sure you put a lot of lash glue so that you don't have to reapply throughout the night. I mean, but don't put too much because you don't want to go overboard. Just gonna go on and pop these bad boys on. You want to get them as close to your natural lash line as you possibly can, just so they look nice and natural. Do you guys see how pretty these are though? I just feel like they lift and open up the eyes so much. I'm obsessed. And then just doing the same thing on the other eye. All right, now on my waterline on my wedding day, I wanted to do a light color to really open up my eyes. So I did a white liner. You could definitely do white, black, brown, depending on what you want to do. Darker colors are going to kind of close off the eyes, give a little bit more of a sultry look, where a lighter color is going to really open up the eyes, giving like a bright-eyed look. So I'm going to use the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in Exit. This is one of my favorite white liners. It is so pigmented. It also wouldn't be a bad idea to use some sort of waterproof liner in your waterline as well if you do, again, expect to be crying. So I'm going to go in with this guy on my waterline. Do you guys see how pigmented it is? Oh, I'm obsessed. With white liner, I almost feel like it's less important to worry about waterproof because like if it like starts to come off, it's not gonna be like a big deal. If you're gonna go in with black liner, I would definitely do waterproof because you don't want that going down your face. And then just gonna go in with the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara to blend my natural lashes in with my falsies. They do have a waterproof version of this. It's the same tube, it's just blue. So you could definitely use that as well. We're just gonna go in and blend everything all together. All right, our eyes are done, so all we have to do is finish up the face. So the first thing we're gonna do is go in and bronze. I'm gonna go in with the Too Faced Natural Face Palette. This is what I used on my wedding day, and I used Tropic Like It's Hot. You can see it's well used. This is one of my favorite shimmery all over bronzers. So I'm gonna go in with this. We're gonna use this to bronze up the skin and also like get some warmth to it before we go in and contour. Just gonna help make the contour look a little bit more natural. You kind of wanna focus it in like a 3 on your face. So in these areas. This does have a little bit of shimmer to it, so it's also gonna just make our face glow, which I like. But you could definitely go in with a matte bronzer if you don't want any shimmer. To contour on my actual wedding day, I'm pretty sure I went in with the regular Benefits Hoola, but I've really been liking this. I don't think this was out when I got married. This is the Caramel one, so it's a little bit deeper. Just looks like this. So you can use Benefits Hoola or you can use this one. So I'm gonna go in with this one today. I've really been liking it. It's a matte bronzer, so it's not gonna have any shimmer, so it's perfect to contour with. I'm just gonna use this to sculpt out the cheekbones. You only need a little bit of this product. You don't want to overdo it. And I did chisel out like my jawbone as well, so we don't have any like triple chin action going on. And just ever so slightly on my forehead. I did do a little nose contour on my wedding day. I don't normally do this, but just to really snatch my nose. For this, I went in with this bronzer. This is a bit lighter, and this is in that same Too Faced Natural Face Palette in the shade Sunny Honey. And I just went in with a dense brush like this and kind of contoured out the sides of my nose just to really have it be super snatched in pictures. You only, again, need a very little bit of product to do this. For my blush, I went in with NARS Orgasm. This is just like the prettiest blush. I don't typically do a lot of blush, but I did want to have just a little bit of flush. So just adding this to my cheeks. Of course, you can add more or less depending on how you like to do your blush. For a highlight, I used one of my faves from Makeup Forever. It is this guy right here. This is the Pro Light Fusion in shade 1. I just have it in this little palette. Or no, actually shade 2. Shade 1 is this lighter one, but I use shade 2, which is the golden one. This is one of my favorite highlighters of all time. So I'm gonna pop that on my cheeks. You wanna basically place this in any of the high planes of your face where the sun would naturally hit. So I did my cheekbones like so. How stinking pretty, I die. Down the bridge of my nose, above my Cupid's bow, and the slightest bit just above the arch in my brows. And now we're gonna do our lips. So I went in with my holy grail nude lip color. I wanted to do nude because then if it was moving around and it wasn't perfect, it wasn't gonna look like super obvious. I feel like if you did like a red or a bold color, it would be really important to always make sure your lips were looking perfect. But I knew I was gonna be eating and drinking and everything, and I didn't wanna have to reapply lipstick every 5 minutes. So I went with nude. That's also just, I feel like, classic me. Like that's what I wear most of the time. So I went in with the NYX Retractable Lip Liner in the shade Nude, one of my faves. And I use this to outline my lips. So I outlined my lips with this, and now for my actual ceremony, I went in with MAC's Honey Love. So this is a matte lipstick. I used matte because obviously, you know, we were gonna kiss during the ceremony, and I didn't want to get lip gloss like all over Steven's face and have him be like wiping his lips after. That wouldn't have been cute. So I went in with this for my ceremony. I'll apply it so I can show you guys. It's like the perfect nude. It's nude but pink as well. So this is what I wore for my ceremony, but then after my ceremony, I went in and reapplied more of this, and then I applied a gloss. So Steven he was in luck for the ceremony, but I wasn't gonna do a matte lip all night long. Glossy lips is like my signature thing, so I was like, I need a gloss, I need it. So during the reception, I did wear a gloss, and this is the Tarte H2O lip gloss in the shade Sandy Toes. Again, one of my absolute favorites. It's just so stinking pretty. So I went ahead and applied this right after. And then last but certainly not least, we have setting sprays. This is arguably gonna be the most important thing because this is what's gonna make sure that your makeup is going to last all day long. Like so far, we've taken a lot of steps to really set everything down, make sure it's gonna look great all day, but we really need that last final step. So I used 2 different setting sprays on my wedding day. The first one I used was the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. This is really, really beautiful. This is gonna make your skin nice and glowy, and I definitely wanted to go for a glowier look. So I'm gonna spritz this on my face, just to give us a really nice glow. You don't want to use like too much because this can definitely really make you glow, but it just gives a really beautiful luminous look to the skin. But then I went in and doused myself in Urban Decay All Nighter. This is the absolute best. I just have the Summer Solstice scented one right here. On my wedding day, I used the regular one, but anything will do as long as it's Urban Decay All Nighter. This is really gonna lock your makeup in. I use this every day when I do my makeup. I've never found a setting spray that's better. So I applied quite a bit of this when I originally did my makeup, and then I applied a little bit more right before I walked down the aisle as well, just to refresh my skin, and you can continue to do it throughout the day, however way you want to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and spritz this. Whew. And once that's all done, we're done. All right, you guys. So I hope that this was helpful. Don't be scared to do your own makeup for your wedding, for prom, for whatever. I literally remember I got my makeup done for prom and then literally went home and like redid it completely on my own. So you definitely can do it. I hope if you're interested in doing it yourself, this video helped you, or you just enjoyed this video in general. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.